Welcome to the live stream of consciousness. The live stream of consciousness is on a quest to unravel the mysteries of existence. Every episode, we ask the fundamental question, what is consciousness? Is consciousness merely a product of our brains, or does it connect us to something greater? Explore the very fabric of our thoughts. Don't miss a moment. Expand your awareness and tap into the boundless potential that resides within you. Welcome to the live stream of consciousness.
Yes, welcome to the live stream of consciousness. I'm so excited. It has been such an amazing time in general. This whole year has been amazing. It's only May 23rd, where last year it probably would have been December by this time. It went so fast, right? So I'm really excited. I have to, before I start the show, give a shout out to, of course, everybody here. I see Ninja Kitty here. I see Artie here. I see Helen. I see Grace. Awesome. Welcome everybody here. Grace, as always, watching on both platforms. I'm going to ask, oh, and I see Raven. Awesome. I'm going to ask, I don't usually do this, but people have been nudging me to remind people to, hey, you're here. Just click the like button, the share button. It's easy to do, and it helps me grow this community, and we can just make this time together better. I did a speech this week. I think I was talking about it last week at an Empowered Mingle Network night. And the speech or the presentation was about this, not this exactly, just the live stream of consciousness, but the idea of how easy it is in this moment in time with technology to put something like this together, to create your own show, to elevate your brand, whatever service it is. I work with a lot of holistic wellness, spiritual people, so healers and psychic mediums, whatever it is you do, this is such a great platform to spread the word, and it's so easy to do. And I do that. I help people figure that out. So if that's what you're looking to do, just reach out to me. I don't usually, again, push that stuff, but I'm feeling compelled. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. This speech was really great. There was over 50 highly spiritual people there. The situation was adversity, right? So what happened was they had this PA. It was not the greatest microphone and a little PA. And right before we were supposed to go on, the PA gave out. So I had to give my presentation to 50 people in a upstairs room in a venue. Just like this, I had to project and connect with everybody, and it was so enjoyable to have to navigate that challenge of not having the microphone and the adversity of it. So, life is just dealing me these things, and luckily they're little adversities, not big ones, but sailing smooth through them, and I love it. So thank you. Grace Grella was there. Thank you, Grace, for showing up. A lot of people showed a lot of support, so thank you guys. Anyway, I have babbled on way much more than I usually do, I guess because I had some stuff to talk about, but it's so great to see everybody here, and I'm excited about tonight's guest, an international flavor in the UK, an amazing tarot reader and psychic who's been doing it for over 30 years, which I think is amazing. And welcome to the live stream of consciousness, Mr. Minty May.
Good evening, and thank you so much for having me on your show tonight. I am truly, truly grateful, and hi to everyone that's watching as well.
Oh, it's an honor to have you, and thanks for jumping across the pond for the evening and staying up late.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. So I don't know. I've been really meeting a lot of new people. A lot of new people have been exposed to the show. I don't know if you've seen it before, but there's a little bit of a routine I go through. It's a question that kind of puts us on the same page. It's a question that I'm constantly searching for the answer to, and every answer I get is correct and part of the bigger answer. And of course, that question is, what is consciousness? What are we talking about tonight?
I'm a firm believer in consciousness as being connecting with the earth, connecting with the cosmos, connecting with the universe, and it's also working with your feelings and your emotions at the same time as well. And it's kind of trusting our own intuition into trying to find our own path and our own way. And consciousness is a very, very personal thing at the end of the day, in my opinion, as well. Because what my opinion might not be the same as yours or some of the people watching. And that's absolutely cool because we've all got our own little journeys to go on. And
Yeah.
that's what it's all about. You know, we're all having, we're spiritual beings having a human experience, is how I
Mhm.
like to call it. So that for me is what consciousness is.
Absolutely. What a great answer. I love the way you say that, and you expressed it a little bit differently. I've been saying it like we're all little puzzle pieces in a big picture, and you know, you may fit right next to someone nice and snug. That's your tribe. You vibe with your tribe, and then you may not fit next to someone, but you know, they're over here in the picture, and you're over here, and you're still part of that bigger picture. And I love even saying that out loud because it's just such a great perspective to have. Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. I want to continue that thought process.
Hmm.
And I'm imagining as a tarot reader and a psychic medium, you are on the page of things are not quite what they seem or have been told to us, you know, from a young age, or what they teach to us in schools and things like that. Do you have a story or a memory of the moment that you knew that was the case?
Yeah, I was about 5 years old. My grandmother, and she has been a massive influence, and she still gives me a kick up the backside from the other side as well, to be perfectly honest with you. In the nicest possible way, I mean that. But I was about 5 years old, and she turned around and said to me that she could see who I was talking to, but she wanted me to say who I was talking to. So she got me to describe them, and she goes, "Okay, well, can you tell me their names?" So I turned around and said, "Well, it's Uncle Jim and Uncle George." It turned out it was two brothers. My Uncle Jim, he's got a bit of a long face like me. My Uncle George had like a really round face and was bald. And she had realised that I could see and hear spirit. So from the age of 5, I mean, how the hell she ever got me to meditate? I mean, I'm 5 years old. I mean, I bounce around like a mad squirrel now. I mean, you know, my energy's all over the place, kind of thing. But she managed to get me to meditate, and she managed to, over the number of years, help me to connect with spirit, help me to not only hear, see, feel, taste, smell, but then she taught me different tools to use over the years as well.
Mm,
So she was a massive, massive influence in my life, so to speak.
wow. So I guess she knew. So I'm just going to go back to what you said.
Mm.
She asked you to describe the people that you were seeing, the beings that
Yeah.
you were seeing, and just by the faces and the descriptions, she recognized them as her brothers who had passed.
Well, the thing is, she could also see who I was talking to
Oh,
because she was a psychic medium herself. So this is where
okay.
it comes from. I'm the first male in the family to do what I do,
Oh, nice.
which is kind of cool. But yeah, it turned out that her two brothers had sadly passed away during the Second World War. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm probably 5 years old. She might have shown me photos,
Right.
but I'm 5 years old. I ain't going to remember. I can't.
And you
To be
never
fair, I
met them.
can't remember what I did yesterday.
Right,
Even now, I
right,
still can't remember. But
right,
yeah, so she could actually see and hear who I was talking to,
right,
but
right,
she wanted me to say who I was speaking to
right,
so
right.
that she could then help me over the years develop and use various different tools.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. I see Debbie Romero just joined us.
Hey, Debbie.
Michael Christopher, a great community that I now am feeling a wonderful part of. I love watching these guys and ladies on the screen doing their thing. It's such an amazing energy. I realized I was talking to Jennifer Rose a couple of weeks ago, and when she went into her trance, or when she was channeling her reading,
Hmm.
I just felt so energized. I was like, "Oh, this is weird. I like hanging around psychics who are reading other people." It was like, you know, it's because I could feel the energy, and I, even though I'm not like connecting directly to the symbology or images or messages, I'm connecting to the energy of it, which I really, really love. Which is just kind of weird. I guess I kind of had this odd fetish. Psychic fetish. You know, I never even heard of that, but healing for sure. Yeah, I think it's the healing
Yeah.
that I love being around. And I see Hat Powser out there. What's up, Hat Powser? That's awesome. So from 5 years old, you were encouraged to recognize a psychic ability and even identify it as a psychic ability.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and
very much so.
and so tell me about that. I mean, tell me about your life then as a male, first male psychic in your family at 5 years old. That's amazing.
It's definitely been a tough one. I won't lie, because certainly with my mother, now bearing in mind it was her mum that was training me.
Mhm.
So my mother had a bit of an issue, and she tried to stop my gran from teaching me as
Oh.
well over the years. So my grandmother became very much my mother figure, but she would get me to meditate with her in the garden. And one of the most beautiful meditations that I still use today is just sitting out in her garden. She'd get me to focus on my breathing, get me to close my eyes, and then she'd be like, "Can you hear my bees buzzing around the lavender bush? Can you hear the wind blowing through the trees? Can you
So
feel
good.
the wind on your skin?" So what she was doing was getting me to focus my attention to a point, so that then your consciousness, or your consciousness is kind of being what's the word I'm looking for? Amused by whatever that is, to allow the subconscious to come through.
Mhm,
And then
mhm.
she'd get me to try and see colors, get spirit come through and messages that way.
Wow. Wow, that what an amazing meditation guide she was, because that I feel like that is very similar to, kind of the way when I started meditating, the way I realized, oh, this is what it is, right? Is that mindfulness. And like you said, Stephen Durante, who's a good friend of mine, was my guide at the beginning, and we were doing it at a center right here in suburbia. But he would say, you hear the traffic outside, you know, same thing. I mean, I would much rather listen to the berries on the vine, but because nature is also super, super powerful. I'm sure that was
Oh,
an amazing element to what was that energy. But yeah, that's just, it's also, I was having a conversation about, kind of talking to the lay person, right? So people who don't necessarily have experiences with tarot people and psychic people, about those simple philosophies and simple actions, I guess you would call it, just breathing, right? Just connecting to your breathing, right? That's the
yeah,
we understand that because we've done it, but it's amazing, like the lay person out there who doesn't meditate and never tried, and probably even not only have they never tried, but they probably say, no, I can't, because they just don't, they think there's a right and a wrong way.
yeah,
It's amazing. It's just I'm just realizing so much about these simple things, and bringing them to everybody, to make it much more peaceful world, be such a great thing. And I see some new names out there. Sheann, what's up, Sheann?
I
Good.
shy.
Cheyenne. I should have figured that one out. Uh,
Sorry.
that's all good. No, no, welcome, welcome. I really appreciate, like I said, this community. I feel like is growing, and it's such great energy. I already get energy from meeting my guests and having these amazing conversations, but then to feel everybody else like listening and being engaged and excited by it, like I am, is really awesome.
It is so cool. It is so
Yeah.
cool, I have to say. And then one of the beautiful things was where my grandmother lived. If you ever, I would Google the Malvern Hills in Worcestershire.
Oh, what is it? Let
Uh,
me write that down. Hold on.
the Malvern Hills,
Malvern.
Yeah, Malvern. And
Malvern.
my grandmother lived at the foot of Chase End and Ragged Stone, it's the two first hills.
Okay.
And she is literally smack bang middle of nowhere. I mean, she had four neighbours. That was it. And then it was fields, woods, trees, the hills. But the Malvern Hills has got an amazing ley line that runs through it as well. So she literally like was living on this energy ley line as well. So it's really
Wow.
cool. Yeah.
That's very cool. And she was in touch with it, obviously, and recognized it as, part of the energy stream, I guess, in
Yeah.
general. Yeah.
Very much so. Very
That's
much so.
awesome. So again, I'm curious about like your adventures as a young psychic. Do you have any good stories, like of interactions, people who you may have given a message to as a young man and they were like just blown away, or the message was so unique?
Yeah, I mean, I started working psychic fairs with her when I was 13 years old. So my grandmother had been doing me all my training up through the years. And then when I was 13 years old, she'd get me to sit next to her on my own little table at psychic fairs and stuff, and I'd do my own readings that way. Um, I, I mean, I've always done readings, and it's only been the last 4 years that that's solely what I do. But before that, I've always worked in pubs and stuff.
Mhm.
And one of the funniest moments, busy Friday night, right? 7 o'clock, pulling a pint for someone. And I hadn't long started working in this one pub, and it was a busy pub. And Georgie, bless her heart, she came in and she was like, I was like, pulling her a pint. She goes, "You're that new weird guy that started working here, aren't you?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "You see stuff, don't you?" I went, "I know what you mean. I know what you're going on with." And I said, I'm actually pulling a pint. As I'm pulling a pint for her, I was like, "I actually got a message for you." I said, "Are you happy?" She goes, "Oh, go on. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued." And I went,
Yeah.
and I said, "Don't worry about losing your job today." I said, "You are going to find a new job within about 2 weeks." I said, "And it's going to be a lot better than what you're doing now. And it's actually going to be like a promotion to what you're doing." Bless her heart, her face went from like really like pure white. She goes, "How do you know I'm losing my job? I only found out half an hour ago I'm getting made redundant." I said, "Yeah, but you've already applied for another job tomorrow because one of your mates has already told you about it. You're going to get it." The nice thing is, 2 weeks later, she goes, "I owe you a pint." She got the job. She's like, "I don't know how you do it, but you're spooky."
That's a great story. Wow, what a great story. I love it. So simple, so elegant, so perfect. I love it. And how old were you then?
Oh, back
Pulling-
then, when I done her that reading, that would have been when I was about 18, 19.
Okay, because I thought you said 13 and then you said you were pulling pints. I was like,
Oh
wait,
no, sorry. Yeah, no. I mean, I was working
you were
psychic fairs
13.
with my
Right.
grandmother.
Gotcha.
Was when I started actually working on a professional level. But one of them, I've got another funny story if you'd like me to share it
Yes,
with
I
you.
loved it. I love it. These stories are great.
So my grandmother was very much someone that would live off the land and everything else. And I'll try not to make it as squeamish as too much, but you'll understand why when I say this.
Okay.
So she used to have a local poacher that would come round on a Friday. And he would be, and she would always buy a couple of rabbits or a pheasant off of him. And because she was very much an earthy woman from the land, at the age of 6 or 7, I mean, she was teaching me basically how to prepare rabbits for tea.
Hmm.
Now, she always done all her readings in the kitchen. So we're halfway through preparing these rabbits. This woman has knocked on the door and she goes, "Oh, she's early." And said half an hour early. Anyway, she goes, "Never mind." So she's invited the woman in. And the woman goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I know I'm early." And she went, "No, no, no. It's fine. Come on through." Invited her into the kitchen. And she goes, "Okay, take a seat." And the woman looks at the table and my gran has literally just shoved the rabbits at the other end of the table. And this woman's kind of looking at the rabbits, looking at my gran, looking at that again, and goes, "You want me to sit here?" She goes, "Haven't you got a special room?" She goes, "Why do I need one?" She says, "I do all my readings in the kitchen. That's special enough because this is where all the magic happens in the house. Whether you're cooking a meal, making a drink,
Hmm.
you're putting your energy and your emotions into it."
Yeah.
And she goes, "Look, it's up to you. Either have the reading here or you can go." And the woman went, "Okay, well, I'm here. I'll have the reading." And she goes, "Well, what about the rabbits?" She goes, "Well, they ain't getting up anywhere because that's my tea for later." She's done this woman a reading. She's also said, like, "Can my grandson sit in because he's learning?" She's done this woman a reading. And the one thing that I always remember, I never remember what was said, but this woman's heart was melted by the end of it. And she just gave my grand the biggest hug ever. The
Hmm.
rabbits were completely forgotten about. And
Hmm.
she just left with this amazing energy. And I was like,
Hmm.
that's just something special. And I said
Yeah.
to my gran, I said, "What did you do?" She goes, "Well, whenever you go for a reading, you should never leave feeling worse than when you came in. Always make people leave happier or
Hmm.
full of hope
Hmm.
or direction." And that's kind of always stuck with me.
Yeah. Wow. That's a great story, and I think that's kind of what I was talking about, like that feeling when I'm in the presence of somebody reading somebody, and it affects that person so much. You could see and feel the healing and the connections that are made, and the validations. It's all amazing. It's all that's great. So I just want to get this right now. You said you were preparing the rabbits for tea.
Yeah.
So rabbit tea is a thing.
Oh yeah, my grand she used to basically make a rabbit stew. So what
Okay,
it was
that
was
I've
like
heard of.
sort of, so it was like skin and gut the rabbits, and then obviously chop the meat up, and then put it in with some vegetables, and basically boil it up. In all fairness, that was the long and short of it. Or she'd stick it in a pie sometimes. Pheasant was another good one of hers, another favourite
Oh,
of hers.
so rabbit tea is kind of rabbit stew. It's just a different.
Oh no, tea is like
That's an
dinner
actual.
time. So no, tea is like dinner. So we have us Brits over here. We have a cup of tea where you like, which I've got another funny story about tea if you're interested. But tea is also a meal as well at the end of the day. So it's like your last meal of the day kind of thing.
So you're eating rabbit and drinking tea.
And drinking
Got
tea.
it.
That's the one.
I thought it was rabbit tea, like you made a tea out of the rabbit
Oh
somehow.
no! You eat the rabbit.
That's hysterical. So Grace mentioned that you were working with spirits before you were pouring them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I ran pubs for 13 years.
And
Hey
Raven,
Raven, how
she
you
said
doing?
now it makes sense too. I think she was thinking the same thing. Rabbit tea, what the heck is that? But that's great. No, that's a great. I'm loving your stories, Minty. You're such a pleasure to talk to. What tell me
Oh,
the tea
thank you.
story.
So in my on my grand's side, everyone could read tea leaves. So my grandmother read tea leaves, her mum read tea leaves, and so forth, all the way back. And I can remember I was about 8 or 9 years old, and my grandmother goes, "Right, going to teach you how to read tea leaves." I'm like, "Gran, I don't even like tea. I can't stand it. It's bloody horrible. I don't know how people drink it." And she's like, "I don't care. I read tea leaves. Your great grandmother does, so forth." I'm like, "Right, okay." So she's made this pot of tea. I've had to drink this stuff. It's horrible. Turn the cup over, twiddle it around a couple of times, pick the cup up, and she goes, "Right, tell me what you see." I've got the cup in my hand. I'm looking into the cup. I look at her. I look back in the cup, and I go, she goes, "Well, what do you see?" I said, "Grant, all I see is tea. What the hell am I supposed to see?" "All I can see is splodges of tea." And she's like, "Don't be stupid. Tell me what." I said, "Seriously, Grant, all I see is tea." And she's literally grabbed the cup out of my hand and gone, "Well, what about this? What about that?" And all the rest of it. And I said, "Seriously, Grant, I can't stand it." Now, bless her heart, she passed away back in 2011. Now, over the years, from about the age of 8 or 9, all the way through, periodically she'll be like, "How do you get on with tea? How you doing with the tea leaves?" Now, I'm a 6-shot hazelnut mocha about twice a day. So I'm drinking coffee like nobody's business. And I'm like, "Seriously, Gran, can't stand it. It's like, it ain't happening." She goes, "Call yourself one of the family. You can't even read tea leaves." I'm like, "Seriously, Grant, it's not happening." Anyway, a couple of days before she passed away, I'm on the phone to her. And so I always said to her, I said, "Look, do you want me to come and see you?" She goes, "No, don't waste your money." She said, "Look, it's fine." And she was really, really compos mentis up until a couple of days before she passed. And we're having this conversation with her one evening. And she goes, "We need to have a conversation." And I said, "Right, what's it about?" And she turned around and goes, "I want to talk about tea." I said, "Gran, seriously, you know, you're not well." And she goes, "Look, this is my wish." And I'm like, "Fine, carry on." Because I tell this story quite a lot because it's quite integral when I do like platform work and stuff.
Mhm, mhm.
I've gone to my local spiritualist church literally last year. I'm sat at the back. The mediums come up. I like to see how other mediums work. I love it. It's not about right or wrong. I just love seeing how everybody works differently
Yeah.
because you can always learn something. It's brilliant way to see people working that.
Mhm, mhm.
Anyway, this woman goes, "I want to come to you." And I'm like, "Okay." And she goes, "I've got a lady coming forward." I thought, here we go. So she's turned around and gone, "Oh, you're supposed," she says, "you could be up here doing this." And she goes, "No, I want to change it. You do come up here and do this." I went, "Yeah, I do." And she goes, Well, the lady's coming through and she says she wants to talk about tea. Well, the whole place erupted in laughter because I've told the story and it's in my local church. Everyone knew it. And that was it. I was just like, oh, thanks, Gran. The first thing you decide to come through with. She's still on my case about it. And I'm like,
That's
seriously.
really funny. That's really funny. And you told the story about the tea to everybody, so everybody knew. That's even better story. That makes the whole thing.
That's what makes it even much better because literally the whole place just erupted in laughter going, of course it's for you, Minty. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
So have you learned to read tea leaves or no? Not at this point.
I actually gave it a go for the first time since I was about 9 years old, a couple of weeks ago, probably about a month ago. Still can't stand it. Still can't read it. But I've actually got a bit of a trip being planned. And funny enough, I was chatting to Raven a couple of nights ago, and I've actually agreed to try tea leaves again one
Nice.
more time.
So I'm curious about that because I've never actually seen anybody do it. Of course, I've heard of it,
hmm
but it's more, it's like an older practice. Um, is it? I guess it's a visual, like a visual clair. It's like you're seeing images in the tea, or how? I mean, what? I guess you don't know.
Well, apparently, well, no. I mean, my grand did kind of explain it to me. It is more of a visual aid, so it's a bit like scrying when you scry into a crystal ball or something like that. And it's like the tea leaves can make a pattern, and then you got to kind of interpret the pattern where it falls in the cup
Right.
as well. If you've got tea leaves at certain points in the, excuse me, in the cup by the handle, that can kind of represent past, present, future. And it's trying to like do it on the visual basis in that way. But I think it's just because I really don't like it. It's like, no, it ain't happening. I am refusing to do it.
That's really funny. I want to say hello to Carol, a new name I see also in the thing. I do mention occasionally, like I did ask people to chat and whatever, and thank you for everybody who does that. If you subscribe and mention it in the chat, I actually will ring my bell. I won't ask you to ring the bell, but I'll ring my bell. So that's my little gimmick. And so, and also I'd like to mention I am the only podcast that I know that has a 100% money back guarantee. So if you want your money back, let me know. Anyway, I don't know why I decided to add that joke into my show every once in a while, but
That's cool.
Yeah, I just just playing with stuff. Okay, so you read psychic, so let's talk about tarot.
Yeah, tarot. I've been reading for Christ, I was about 6 or 7 years old when I started reading tarot. I actually teach tarot as well.
Oh,
And I
nice.
teach it the way my grandmother taught me. So it was always about what do you get from the picture? What is your intuition saying what each card means? And then the colors have got meanings, the numbers have got meanings, the imagery will have meanings. And something I always say to people is, when you're looking at a card, you might not see the whole card. You might just see a small element. And then that's enough to spark. And then I also channel spirit through as well. And I do see people's past, present, and future as well.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, I saw that. I just wanted to acknowledge Cheyenne. She got the little bell for subscribing. Thank you, Cheyenne. Thank you, Debbie Romero, again for bringing me to your community and vice versa. I really appreciate that. So I learned about tarot in the last year or two. A friend of mine who I did a show with actually created his own tarot deck, and he was also very, very versed in the tarot and a lot of ancient art and magic stuff. And I thought it was really fascinating the way the tarot tells a story, the way the story is a cycle, and just it gets to the end and it just starts again. And it was so cool because as we were doing the show each week, he was really literally experiencing the story and the cards in his life, and it was just so much fun. But I love I love energy, right? I love the idea of
Yeah.
energy being everything. And we were talking earlier, you said everybody's kind of got a different perception and a different attachment to source, right? So
Hmm.
they feel connected to source in their own way, and source is um besides their experience of source is also projected out, right, in their
Yeah.
unique way through them. um so I want to know what would you consider your unique light?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Um, oh, for once, I'm actually stuck with words.
Ah, see, now I'm looking at you and I'm just going, you're just unique, in general. I mean, I don't think I mean, uh, you seem more like a wizard type, right? To me, like, which is cool. I love that. I mean, Brian was a wizard, literally, the Wizard of Odd, he calls himself. But that's kind of what you seem like to me. And I feel like attached to tarot and even psychic mediumship these days, it's more females, right? A lot of even,
There is a lot of females out there that will use it. I use oracle cards, I use crystals, I do psychometry, I use Ouija boards, I connect with the earth.
Mhm,
I'm very much a tree hugger. So I'm actually a bit of a tree wizard in all fairness,
a
because I
tree wizard.
really love my trees. And
Ah,
their
there we go.
different trees can give different energy as well. But people have always said that, or from the reviews that I've had from people leaving me and the feedback I get is that I'm very precise or pretty close with dates, times,
Oh wow.
situations, circumstances, that kind of thing. Some of my grandmother always said, and I'm a firm believer of, if any medium or reader ever claims that they can do 100% true readings, and this is my personal opinion as well, I always say that they're lying, because at the end of the day, we are human. We're not God. I always say, Christ, I'm a bloke. So I definitely don't get it right all the time. That's a given like that. But you should expect a high 80s, 90s percentage wise of accuracy. But no, I love working with various different tools and items. I'm actually one of my favorite decks that I'm using at the moment, because where's my camera? There it is.
Oh wow.
A
Hold on. Let me let
friend
me
of mine,
let me
yeah, a
let
friend of
me.
mine actually
Oh
designed these,
wow. Love it.
and they're very, very nature based. So I absolutely love these cards.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Um, they're just stunning artwork. Oh, there we go. Free.
I love it. And that
We
and
have a
that
tree.
kind of looks a little bit like you.
Exactly, exactly. And I am
That's
a bit of an
great.
oak. I am a bit of an oak tree, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, no, I don't know what I've never really kind. I know I'm different. I know I'm a bit. I don't know. I don't know. I can't answer that because
You don't have to. You already did. And actually, I love the fact that you started talking about the different ways that you connect, right? The different divination tools that you use,
yeah.
because as you were talking about it, Hat Pauser said, "What's Minty's favorite divination method?"
Well, I love using my cards. That's a given. But I love psychometry. I love taking an object from someone and just feeling the energy, and whether it's belonged to the person before them. Because I always say to people when they come to a reading, for example, they'll get the tarot, they get the mediumship, but I get them to bring an item with them. And
Mm.
sometimes, I mean, don't get me wrong, someone's actually handed me a cigarette lighter before, and like one of the cheap throwaway ones, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine, I'll do that. Or house keys is a common one because it carries your energy. You don't normally go anywhere without house keys, car keys, so it's
Sure.
picking your energy up. So when I'm taking hold of an object from someone, it's like I'm linking into their energy, but it helps bring loved ones closer as well. But it's like I like it when I get a bizarre item given to me. So I've had like someone grandfather made a lighthouse out of matchsticks, and they brought that along, and oh, that was just beautiful. Someone actually gave me a guitar in a guitar case. I had to. They were like, this was their special thing, and they wanted me to do the psychometry that way. But I love using the variations. I mean, I love my crystals. I love using my crystal ball. I love using my tarot cards. But yeah, tarot has probably been the one thing that has always been there all the way along.
Right, right. And I think tarot is probably one of the modalities that people recognize, people can
Yeah.
feel comfortable with. Hat says psychometry makes more sense than any of the others. That vibration sticks and links forever, especially with metal. And I want to say hello to my friend Paul Maffetone, who's out there saying hello, who has never seen the show before. He must have just stumbled across it. What is up, Paul? I haven't seen him in a long time. So it's good to see you out there. He's saying, I love this live stream. I love that you love this live stream, Paul. And
Oh, that's so
I
cool.
love that you're here. That's awesome. I also see Hat is saying she had a boyfriend back in the 90s who was the psychic fair king of Northern England, and he used to make really cool black scrying mirrors. Can you tell us what is a scrying mirror?
So a scrying mirror is I mean, black obsidian is normally the crystal that you would, or a rainbow obsidian is a crystal that you would normally use.
Mhm.
But you can kind of use any dark. You can actually use a black cup of coffee to scry in all fairness, or you can have a darkened room with a mirror holding a candle under you. And what it is, it's like you can either allow spirit to come in and change your facial features and let them come through, or you will actually start to see images. It's like, you remember the old 3D posters that you got, and you had to
Mhm.
like let your eyes go all
Yeah, yeah,
fuzzy.
yeah.
You
Stereograms,
kind of
I guess
use,
they were called.
that's it. You
Yeah, yeah.
use that same technique when you're scrying into a crystal ball, or scrying mirrors. It's like really smooth, black, polished. Like I say, obsidian or rainbow obsidian is another good one to use as well.
Wow, that I just learned something new. I think you know how it goes, right? When you learn something and you're like, it's almost like you're remembering it. It's not like you're learning
Yeah.
it. So that just all makes a lot of sense to me. And I love that you said you could even use a black cup of coffee. I was thinking earlier you were talking about we were talking about the tea leaves, right? And
Yeah.
that made me think about a conversation I had earlier today about a Ouija board, right? And I know
Mm.
people have different feelings about that, but we kind of Googled it a little bit, and we found out that it wasn't introduced as a psychic tool. It was just supposed to be kind of a party thing, and then there was a psychic or somebody who connected that to it, and immediately it became clear that it was all about intention, right?
Yeah.
And whatever you could put your intention into anything. And so that's
Yeah.
what I was thinking about the tea leaves. Reading tea leaves is okay. I'm going to put my intention into getting a message from the tea leaves, right? And so
Yeah.
energetically, you're connecting yourself to those tea leaves and getting that message. So I'm imagining when you're connected to that power within yourself, you can do it in so many ways. That scrying sounds almost like a little bit of a trance, right? Like you're putting yourself
Yeah.
into a bit of a trance. Um, and that was what I loved about the energy of Jennifer Rose when she was doing the reading. It was like she kind of goes into this trance, and I feel like, again, sometimes, if I would have been in the presence of that probably 20 years ago, I would have been like, what the heck, that's weird, and all of that. And then it's like when you're in tune and you understand that frequency, it feels different, and the experience of somebody doing it is very different. And I think that's why, just because I'm becoming more and more in tune with these different modalities, that
Mhm.
I'm experiencing them different, and I'm starting to like really enjoy being around psychics when they're doing readings. That's awesome. Intention is always key, and Raven is the queen of intention, and lead with energy with the intention she puts into her cards. Paul, I see you saying, I didn't catch this. Thank you, sir. It's always an honor and pleasure to be in your presence.
Oh,
What a sweet thing. Thank you. That
that's
means
so
so much
cool.
to me. That means so much to me. And everybody here in the audience means so much to me. And Minty, you mean so much to me. It's so cool to connect with somebody across the planet, and just vibe, you know what I mean, and just be able to have conversations that you can't go out in the street necessarily and have. Soon, I think you'll be able to. It's getting easier and easier to find people who you could talk to about this stuff, which is
It is, and I think there's more of a tolerance or more of an openness to it as well. I mean, one of the things I've noticed over the last 12 months, and I'm sorry, especially blokes, they're becoming more open to it, and they're becoming, they're kind of like Yeah, they come along and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm a bit of a skeptic. I'm not sure." Funny enough, I had it at the weekend. I'd just done a medieval market at the weekend,
Okay.
and this big biker guy, actually, is called Bet. I mean, he was huge. Really, really nice, down to earth guy, and his partner convinced him to come along for a reading. He sort of sat there and went, "I don't believe in any of this." I was like, "That's fine." I said, "Have you got an open mind?" He goes, "I've got an open mind, but I don't believe in it." I said, "Okay." I said, have you got an item?" And he gave me his car keys. Nice thing was, had his mum and father come through straight away.
Nice.
The nice thing is, I know this sounds really bad, but he started crying. And for me, you can't get any more validation than that.
Oh
And it
yeah.
was such a beautiful message as well. And the guy, I mean, he literally gave me a bear hug. I was like, I mean, I'm not exactly like a stick insect, but it was like, bloody hell. I was like, no worries, dude. That's cool.
That's so great. That's so great. Yeah, I love stories like that, and people who come and they're like, all right, I'm skeptical, but I'm giving you a shot, and then you just blow them away. I love that. And are they saying I love Minty's energy? Yeah, you do have some great
Oh,
energy.
thank you.
And Hat is saying we're getting there. These podcasts and YouTube channels are helping to open people up. Terrence and Joe just accelerated the process. Yeah, that interview. I don't know if you saw that interview, Terrence Howard and Joe Rogan. But if you haven't, I recommend watching it. It's definitely,
Cool.
it's like one of those conversations that you watch and like you feel it in your brain. You feel like things happening, and you're just like, what the heck's going on? And Paul is saying he just got chills from that story from an
Oh,
unbeliever. And when he first experienced it, he was blown away. I'm so glad to hear you say that, Paul. Um, and
and I think
I
it's important to have a healthy level of skepticism as well, though, because
absolutely,
that does protect you, because there sadly are, the flip side of it is there are a lot of fakes out there
yeah,
who
yeah.
do hurt people and can
Charlatans,
be
we call them.
damaging.
Yeah, we call
Yeah.
them charlatans. So speaking of terms, charlatans, I'm
Mm.
just curious, am I a bloke?
How do you mean?
Well, you were saying blokes, right? Especially blokes. You using the term,
I mean it in like on a collective consciousness in a sense, but
but bloke means male, right? Like a guy.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So I'm a bloke.
yeah.
No one has ever referred to me that way, so I almost was like,
Oh,
oh,
right, okay.
I'm a bloke. We don't use that word over here,
Oh,
right?
you don't use. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, bloke, yeah. Well, I mean, I've heard the word, right? But
Yeah.
I just don't. I thought it was cool. That's cool. And Hat is saying, having lived with a professional psychic, I learned not to waste time wrapping their presents. Boom, boom.
It's so true. It's so true.
That's great. So I want to hear more stories. I just want to like, I heard a story I talk about, and he's been on the show before, Christopher Allen, a good friend of mine, like a brother to me,
Mhm.
who was one of the people who, that skepticism that you say is healthy. I think the skepticism allows you for that moment to be blown away, right? You're just like, this ain't real. And then
Yeah.
one day, and then you're like, well, I can't deny it now. You know what I mean? It's just like, all of a sudden. But he had a similar story of a guy who came in with his girlfriend, big biker dude, and his mom and dad came through right away and told he got a vision of Charlie Brown, the Charlie Brown Christmas story with the really sad Christmas tree. I don't know if you know that
Yeah. I
story.
do.
And same thing. He told him, he said, what is this with Charlie Brown? And the guy started crying, got up and took off his jacket, and Chris was like, whoa, 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 whoa. He thought he was gonna like hit him, and on his back was that scene tattooed
That's
with
the.
Charlie Brown's Christmas tree. And it was something that connected him and his parents. They watched it together every year or whatever it was. It was a connection. And man, I just got chills, right? Those validations are just so
It's those
amazing.
little beautiful moments, isn't it? It's those
Yeah,
little beautiful moments that just,
yeah.
even if the message isn't for you, you still feel. I mean, I can feel that energy straight away just from hearing
Totally.
you
Oh
tell
my
the
God.
story.
Totally. And I guess even when, like, so I was talking about liking being in the presence of readings, but even when I'm hearing a story that makes me cry because it's like so touching and sad, it's like a joyous cry. It's like a healing cry, you know. It's like it's just so amazing. And Helen is saying we don't use the word wonky here either, but I love the word. So
It's a great word.
it is a great word, and I actually use the word wonky when things go wonky. I use that word.
That's brilliant. I love that.
Awesome. So what are you doing these days? You said you're teaching tarot, and you're still doing like festivals and things like that. I imagine you seem like that kind of guy who would, and
Yeah.
travel around and do these things.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it's like I see clients on a day by day basis. I mean, I'm very fortunate and very, very grateful and extremely lucky that I do have a nice client base that I do get to see on a day by day basis. So I do one-to-one readings, I do tarot workshops, pendulum workshops, crystal workshops, meditation circle. I actually did a meditation circle tonight for people as well that they come to, and then I do platform work, I do events or parties and stuff. But um, I've got a new thing starting in about 3 months' time.
Oh, nice. Is it a secret or you want to share it?
No, I'm happy to share it. I'm happy to share it. I've actually decided, funny enough, yesterday of all days, walking down by the river, and it was like a penny drop moment kind of thing. And I'm in a way, I class it lucky in a nice way, but I haven't got dependents. I'm not with anyone. I've got no commitments. And I've decided that something I should have done 20 odd years ago was go traveling.
Nice.
I'm now going to make my way to the States in about 3 months' time. And I'm planning on
Oh,
coming over for 90 days and just do a bit of a tour around.
amazing. We've got to make plans and get together. I would love to
That would
hang
be
with
awesome.
you,
I
meet
would
you in
love that.
person. Oh, that's so freaking cool. I love that. I love that. Awesome. And Carol Atterbury is out there saying, I love these lives. We really get to connect with other like-minded souls. I started with Judith, Alice, Rose, Debbie, Michael, Nadia, and nice to meet you, Minty. You're also generous
Thank
with
you.
your time and information. I love that people see it that way, because I think that's why I tripped into this, and that's why I love it so much, and just to know that people out there appreciate this. When I first started doing this, I had never wanted to be in front of the camera before, and my audience knows the story. I'm a video production guy, and I was always behind the scenes, right? And I did it for a friend, Jesse Blaze, who used to be on the show, and he's like, I want you to be on the show with me, and that's what started my journey here. And it's just been such an amazing platform for me to connect with people like you personally, and then also just be able to hold space for you, you know what I mean, and let other people feel your energy, and
That's so cool, and that's awesome.
yeah, it's really, it's cool. It's an interesting calling, right? It's
It
something
definitely is.
kind of cool. I forgot what I was going to ask you. Debbie was responding to Carol about where you can find Minty. Oh, I did make a banner here. Minty's Facebook
Thank you.
page. Hold on a second. Where did I put that? Let me see. There it is. I'll put that up.
Thank you.
Facebook.com/Minty's Tarot, so you can get in touch with Minty there, and see what he does. So I appreciate what Carol said about you sharing your time and information and all of the things that you're sharing with us. Would it be too much to ask you if you want to do like a meditation or maybe a reading for somebody, or is there
Let's
something
do a
that
reading. Let's go for a reading. Let's do a reading. Let's do it. Let's go for it.
I'm always down.
Let me see. Have we got any there's the button for comments. I'll have a look, see what we got. So I work in a couple of different ways. If you'd like a general reading, pop up that you'd like a general read, or if you would like a particular question answered, let's do a particular question. I can do either or, if that's any good for you guys. So let's see what we got going on.
Well, we've already
Debbie, let's come to you. Debbie, you got an amazing energy, and I've been following you for a while, and I love how you work. Say that again. Say that again. So, first thing I'm getting for you, Debbie, is that you're going to go down more of a teaching route later on this year. I don't know if you're writing your own courses or workshops, but I feel like you're scribbling away. And it's like they're saying you should be doing this. It's like you're going to do the teaching side of it. I don't know if that's what you do. Say that again. Say that again. You are. Okay, thank you for the confirmation as well, by the way. I really do appreciate it. And they're just sort of saying that you've got quite a few events. I feel like they're starting from around the end of August, going through to November, and then you'll have a bit of a break, and then it'll start again around February to March. New courses July. Okay, cool. Thank you. I was a little bit out there. This is where I say we don't always get it right. But I can also see you doing retreats. And I feel like you're going to go more down like a sound therapy as well. So I wouldn't have ruled out looking at doing sound baths or drumming circles, that kind of thing as well. And music has always been massively important for you as well. Yes, I have a new in-person event. Thank you so much for the confirmation. But I do feel like music's massively important for you as well. And that's going to really, really help. Let me pull you a quick card though, David. I love it. We got the world. I hope you guys can see this because
Oh,
I've
wow.
just got the
Beautiful
comments
card.
up. It is a stunning card. And it is about you. Yes, I work with ladies who do sound baths. Thank you. But you should be also writing your own meditations as well. It's like you're going to be writing your own journeys for people to go on as well. And that's
Mhm.
another thing that you can coincide and collaborate with. But your work is actually going to take you overseas. So I don't know if you've got plans for next year to try and find ways of working overseas as well, or collaborating with other people overseas, not just doing it through like the internet, but actually in person. Yes, he's guided to do one today. Thank you so much. But I do actually see that work taking you overseas next year. And I would say it's around April, May time. And that's going to be massively important for you as well. So Debbie, I hope that helps, and I hope. Sorry, they're also saying you do Reiki, and they're saying that you should be looking at working with animals as well, dogs especially, but also horses. And it's like doing Reiki on animals. I feel like that's something else that you're venturing down on as well. I don't know if that makes sense or not. I hope it does.
Sweet. And Debbie, I was going to mention you were talking about music, and Debbie, I don't even think she realizes this, but Debbie has been posting some nice meditation musics, like YouTube musics that I listen to at night when I go to bed. So I'm like, oh, she listens to that stuff too. So she's been posting a couple of those, which is awesome. I know a couple of people asked for a reading. We do have as much time as you're willing to give.
I'm really cool. Yeah, no, let's go for it. Let's go for it.
Before we get into personal readings, I would love to do a reading for this show and
Yeah,
me and the listeners, like a group,
yeah.
like what's
Do a
happening.
collective. Do
Yeah.
a collective card pull. Oh, see if I can- Remember to take time out for you. You're not always got to be everywhere at 100 miles an hour, and you haven't always got to say yes to everything. You're allowed to say no, allowed to close the door to the outside world. It's getting much more back out into nature. Especially for you, Michael. You're getting out into nature more. You're finding that you're connecting. Funny enough, talking about connecting with the earth, I can see you walking amongst trees or getting by a river or a lake or something along those lines, because that's just allowing you to drop your thoughts off. Other people can do this as well. And it is one of those where it's like, it's okay to look after us at the end of the day. It's okay to say no to people. I'm going to pull a quick card. So we got Farsight, and it's about being in the present.
Mm.
People are always too busy looking far ahead. Sometimes we've got to focus on the here and now, and that's the most important. Life is about a series of moments, and it's focused. Sometimes we can look too many moments ahead and miss what's right in front of us. So I hope that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. I was having a conversation with my girlfriend today about making plans for the summer, like actually like planning to do things, hiking and walking in the woods, and connecting with nature, and those are the things we love to do. And we have been going a million miles an hour, and we do need to take time for ourselves, and that's exactly where we're at. So on point, 100% for that. Absolutely.
One more thing for you though, Michael. Start writing your book, because you got a book that needs to be published by the end of next year, and I feel like you've already got ideas started for it, and there's like drafts that have already been starting to be written. Sorry, I don't know if this is a secret or not.
No, it's not anymore. No, it was never a secret. I want to say, and I don't usually say it this way, but I did channel some writing in the last couple of years. It was first an idea, and then I wrote a little bit, and then over the time I've added little bits to it, and expanded it, and certainly said, hey, this should be a book. And so yeah,
And I do feel like it's about your own personal experiences and people that you've met along the way as well, because they're showing me that you've got this, and I mean this in the nice way. You have this habit of meeting the most random people in the most random circumstances and hearing some of the best stories ever. I mean, this is why you're kind of a natural at this in some respects. It's because this, like you said, this is kind of your calling. And it's those little moments, those little stories that you're kind of putting together, but it's going to encourage and help and lift others as well at the same time.
Very cool. That's awesome. Cheyenne is saying that definitely makes sense for me too. And that's something too I've noticed is a lot of times, I guess that's why I like listening to psychics, because I sometimes am like, oh, that makes sense to me, just in general, almost like philosophically, like whatever it is they're talking about, makes sense. And that's great. And Helen, thank you. She says, I love your writing. I did share my writing with her. And that's how we met. Paul saying that's how we met. How did we meet, Paul? I thought we met through a photo shoot that we did together. We did a cool photo shoot with Paul's wife, who's now, that's such a great story. So Paul's wife was a friend of mine, this woman, Christina, and she says, hey, there's a guy who wants to hire me to do a photo shoot. He wants to hire me as a model, and he needs a photographer, and I'm a photographer. What do you think? And I said, let's do it. We were friends already, and we did a photo shoot. He wanted to do a photo shoot of her on his motorcycle. So he had this awesome motorcycle, and he wanted a model on his motorcycle. And we did an amazing photo shoot, and all three of us had such a great vibe together. We hit it off. We went out to eat afterwards, and he ended up falling in love with her, and now they're married, and they just had their second child. And like
cool.
you said, it's just such a cool story, like that I was a part of. I was actually a Cupid at one point in my life. Yeah, totally.
It's so awesome. It truly is.
So that's the story I remember, Paul. He says it was, but it was so random, and it connected us on another level. It certainly did. We had a lot of connections together. So that's amazing. I love it, just from telling the story. So I did see some people who were looking for things. I'm just.
Do you want to? If you pick them, and then I'm
just going to pick. I don't mean to single anyone out or miss anybody, but this is the first one I'm seeing. Is Lisa Marie is asking for a reading, please.
That's cool. Lisa, as soon as I've linked in with you, the first thing I've got is you've got really, really high energy. You're very much a counselor, a supporter, or carer for others. You don't like seeing anyone upset. You like raising other people's vibration. Kind of going back to the collective read of what I was saying is, though, that you're needing to take that little bit of time out for you. I do feel, slow down. There's change to your work coming for you around the end of July, beginning of August. I feel like I'm a little bit frustrated with my job, and I'm thinking of, I don't think you're staying where you are, but I feel like you're looking for something else. It's like I'm looking to expand, but it'll be on your terms. I don't know if this is making any sense or not. If you can give me any feedback, I'd really appreciate it. But they're just sort of saying, don't hold yourself back. I don't think it's a promotion, but it's like I'm looking at this other job. I'm unemployed right now. They're saying you're looking at this job that it's, can I do it? Can I? And they're saying, yes, you can go for it. They're saying you might think it's out of your comfort zone, so to speak, but you're ready for this. So I do feel like there is this new work that's ready to come in, but you're gonna be, it's still helping people, it's still lifting people up. So it's going to be working in some sort of caring environment. I don't know if that makes any sense or not. I hope it does. And the card I got for you is also connect, because you're extremely intuitive as well. And you do know within the first 5 minutes of talking to someone whether you like them or not, or whether you can trust them or not as well. And they're just saying, listen more to your intuition at the same time. Keep getting someone. I've got a lady that wants me to give you a rose quartz, and it's as though she's just saying, put this in your heart. Bit of self-love. That's what's needed at the moment. The lady that's coming forward, I don't think it's mum. I would say it was grandmother off mum's side of the family. She'd speak her mind, speak her truth. She'd always give you an honest answer if you asked her for an opinion. So it was the kind of case of being careful what you ask for in case you don't want to hear it, kind of thing. But she's got this kind of character about her where it's like, I'm going to tell you off in one hand and give you a bag of sweets with the other, kind of thing. She's got a huge amount of love for you, and she just wants you to know how proud she is of you. She loves the fact that you talk to her on a day-to-day basis, or you think about her fairly often, and she wants you to know she is one of your spirit guides. And you can smell, I've got a strong perfume smell coming through with her as well. She's very much at peace. And she's been giving you the strength for the last 7 or 8 months, because there's been a lot of healing or a lot of emotional work that you've done on yourself. And she's just saying you've got a lot more to be proud of than you're giving yourself credit for, because you've really moved forward. Lisa, I hope that makes sense, and I hope that helps.
Totally. Yeah. She was giving us a lot of yeses, so I think you
thank you.
hit it. And I would love, Paul says he's definitely down for reading, so I would love to give him that gift.
I got huge amounts of laughter. Life and soul of a party. Lisa, you're more than welcome, and thank you. Paul, you are life and soul of a party. You have huge amounts of laughter. You're always looking for the positive. You don't do negative people, or you don't do negative energy. It's like someone's got a problem, you're going to help them, but they've got to work themselves. They've got to do the work themselves. Someone comes at you and just moans for the sake of it. You're like, oh, shut up, go away, kind of thing. And I don't blame you. And it's like you're always one for encouraging everyone else as well. They're also saying that you're very much a perfectionist as well. You like everything in its place. You like structure. You like routine. You'd rather be half an hour early than 2 minutes late. You follow your dad for that as well. I'm going to ask a delicate question. Is dad in spirit, or is he still here? Because I've got a male that's wanting to come forward, and he keeps laughing about he's laughing about tools. What is it with tools? I want to say you work with tools on a day-by-day basis, or if I wanted a brick wall built, you could do it. But if I wanted some plumbing work, you could do it. You can do more than basic DIY is basically what I'm saying. And you've always, if I don't know something, I'm going to research the hell out of it as well at the same time. And I want to say you're following your dad for this. Thank you for the confirmation. I'm hoping this is all making sense. I really do. And you're doing a lot of work in the house at the moment, and he's laughing, saying you're getting something going on, you're getting frustrated with it, it's not going quite to plan. And I feel like there's a job. I don't know what you're doing. What's going on? What are you doing? There's something you're building. And it's like, what's that? Could be my brother or uncle who recently passed. Sorry for the loss. But you would have looked up to this person. So I'm seeing you looking up to this person. Oh my God, yes, I definitely am. And they're just saying, leave it tonight. Don't worry about it. It's secure. Whatever it is that you're doing, there's some sort of structural work that you're doing. They're like, leave it tonight. It's secure. You'll find the solution tomorrow. But the thing is, once you start something, you've got to finish it. You don't like leaving jobs half done. And if you've made a decision on something, you want it yesterday, not tomorrow, because you haven't got great patience. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. And I do feel like your wife, we are working on the house. Thank you for the confirmation.
Yeah.
Say that again. Show me that again. It's funny though, because there's a lot of laughter between you and your wife as well, and you both are quite competitive. You're both like twin. If you were playing a game of pool, well, that ball went down, even if it didn't. It's that kind of fun and laughing. You guys are definite soulmates, no two ways about it. But it's like she does bring that calming energy into you. She does bring that balance into you, if that makes any sense at all. I hope it does. Say that again. Brother was a gentle soul. You could always go to him for an answer. You could always go to him for opinion. He did pass very, very quickly, and he's very much at peace. He knows that you got to say goodbye to him in your own way as well. Don't know why, but I've got a brown leather jacket. I feel like you're supposed to have a brown leather jacket of his or something. I don't know if that makes sense or not. I hope it does. He's laughing about this brown leather jacket. I don't know if it was when, actually, I think it was when you were teenagers, you tried to rob his jacket or something. I don't know. It was like we were always swapping or borrowing.
Hmm.
Say that again. And he is watching over you, by the way. And I know you just mentioned that he had a baby, and I've got a little boy, and I want to say he's extremely intuitive as well. And as he gets older, if he don't like someone, he ain't going to be wrong, in all fairness. My dad had his leather jacket after he passed. Thank you for the confirmation. There was something about that leather jacket. But your lad, I want to say you have a little lad, and he's going to be extremely intuitive. And I want to, and I don't mean this in any. It's funny how they always describe this to me. The baby is actually really easy. I want to say you're actually getting, considering you're getting decent sleep. It's one of those, yes, he is a boy, thank you. But I want to say he's very, very, he's a baby. He shouldn't be stressed, of course, but he's very laid back. Yes, he'll let you know when he wants feeding, changing, whatever. But you're actually getting a reasonably decent night's sleep through the night. So I feel like I'm quite lucky with this sleep. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope it does. But he's going to be very, very laid back. Music's going to be, and this is a game for something for later on. Music's going to be massively important. Music's always been massively important to you. Why am I seeing a drum kit? I feel like you should be playing the drums. He's just started sleeping through the night and he's so chill. Thank you for the confirmation. But why do I feel like you should be playing the drums? I feel like you do, like, I want to get a drum kit. I don't know if you've just got, they're laughing saying you just got rid of one. I don't know. But that's what I was being shown. Hope it might make sense.
Oh, so awesome. Again, like I said, I just he says, oh, he has a microphone tattooed on his stomach.
Perfect. So music is massively important.
Yeah. I just love being around this energy. I love hearing these readings. And I know, like I said, I know Paul, and when you were describing the personality type and how he likes to build and he doesn't, want to leave a project unfinished, I was just feeling it. I was just feeling like, wow, he's nailing it. He's totally got his personality down.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, Reason.
That's so awesome, Minty. I really appreciate you doing readings live like this on the spot. And he says that's amazing. He's crying in the living room. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're more than welcome, mate. You're more than welcome. And your brother, I'm sorry, just one more thing. Your brother is just saying, I'm all right, mate. And you can still talk to him. What you show me now? Get the dog. I think you're looking at getting a dog. I'm not going to lie, it's going to be mad as a box of frogs. And it's going to be bonkers, and you'll be able to train it to a degree. All I'm going to say is, though, say to your wife, put her shoes up, because the dog's going to love shoes. I don't know if it's a Labrador or a Labradoodle or Cockapoo or something like that, but the dog's going to bring a huge amount of energy and love into the family. He's going to be spoiled, and he's going to be, like I say, it's going to be bonkers. It's going to be nuts. It's a bit like me. But it's just going to bring in a huge amount of love. So I feel like you've already got one you've got an eye on. Don't know if that makes sense.
I can't wait till Paul tells me that his dog has started eating his wife's shoes.
Has he just got a dog?
That's going to be. I don't know if he did, but I know that he's going to be coming to me and telling me that either they got a dog and it's eating his shoes, or they had a dog but that it's like the shoe thing. I felt it. I felt that.
That's cool. Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
That
Sorry, pal. I didn't mean to interrupt you then.
Sorry, Paul. Sorry, Christina. But that's awesome. That's really awesome. So, when did you say you were coming to the States, man? I'm excited. I really want to meet you.
I'm looking at the middle of September,
Okay.
and I've had a look over here, and apparently I can come on a touring visa or a holiday visa for 90 days.
Cool.
So I'm planning on doing a bit of a tour and a bit of a trek, and it's one of those where it's like, yeah, let's roll the dice and see what happens, kind of thing, and
awesome.
see what amazing people.
Yeah, and you know what? Like you said, you're not tied down right now. It's a perfect time, and it seems like whatever it was calling you. It was like, hey, I got an idea. why don't we do this? Since we yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome, Paul. Thank you so much for being here, man. And where in the States are you going to be? I guess all over the place, right?
I'm gonna go all over the place. I'm thinking of. I was actually, funny enough, looking at flights today for the dates I was looking at, and it's kind of going to be easier for me to fly into New York.
Awesome.
And I'll buy a return ticket from there as well, so to speak. And then it is literally, I might do a day or two in New York, and then I'm just gonna find a train, find a bus, find some way of making my way across, see what happens.
Awesome. Well, you know what? I will. I was just told to say this. I have an extra bedroom, and you're if you need a place to crash, for a couple of days, you're welcome to.
I am so grateful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Whereabouts are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm in New York. I'm on Long Island in New York.
Oh, okay, cool.
So you're landing right nearby. So I might even be able to pick you up from the airport.
I would really appreciate that. So thank you so much.
Well, I feel like I made a new friend. So that
you certainly have.
Again,
you certainly have, and I feel the same.
Yeah, yeah. You're so awesome. You brought such a great energy to my show tonight. Expanded my community across the pond. This is great. Raven is saying great job.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for being here. I think part of our energy is ignited by your energy. So I don't think that, I know it. So there you go. How's it out there? So I'm definitely gonna have you back. I'm definitely gonna pick you up from the airport when you come to the States. So all good. I'm going to put you in the back room, but before I do that, do you have any parting words from my audience or our audience?
Just look after yourselves, guys. Take that little bit of time out. Go and hug a tree. I bang on about trees like nobody's business, and I'll tell you what, they give you great grounding, great healing. But it's been such a pleasure to be able to be here tonight and connect with you guys. So thank you so much for your time as well, because if it ain't you guys giving us your time, we can't do what we do.
Exactly. It proves that it's a collective right there, just because everybody's got to be here to experience it, right? We're all here in this moment.
Exactly. And what a beautiful moment.
Awesome. Minty, you're awesome. I can't wait to talk to you. Hang out in the back room so I can talk to you after I sign off. And cool. I'll see you soon. Thanks for being here.
See you soon. Thank you.
So that was amazing, right? Holy moly. Paul says, Minty, thanks for being here. And Minty is amazing. So nice to meet you. Yeah, Minty, you did great here. Paul's asking if this is going to be posted. It will. It's archived on the YouTube channel, so you can go back and watch it. Another amazing show. Thank you. I do feel like I'm killing it. I'm going to take that compliment. But if it wasn't for my amazing guests, and for my amazing audience, there'd be nothing. Right? So you guys are killing it by being here, by inspiring me to come back each week. I'm going to come back. Minty is amazing. I also loved watching your show. Thank you. I appreciate that, Cheyenne. I appreciate you being here. Sorry, I mispronounced your name. It looked like Sheehan at the beginning. Anyway, next week is going to be awesome. Next week, I have Actually, at 7, we're doing the Grace Grella show. So on the Grace Grella show channel on YouTube, you can watch the Grace Grella show. That's the 30th. And I have a good friend of mine who's been on the show before, Russ Camarda, an amazing actor who also is super spiritual. And since he's been on the show before, I'm doing the other format where I pick a topic to talk about, and it's something we haven't really talked much about on the show, a little bit, because I do dabble with it, but we're going to be talking about AI, and how it affects the big picture. AI and versus spirituality, AI and creativity, AI as a tool, AI as a threat, AI as a friend. Anything AI, all AI is what we're going to be doing next week. So again, thank you folks for always being here and making it worth my while and just supporting me the way you do. I really appreciate everybody out there. Peace.